we are on Earth, and the Earth is just one planet in the galaxy. You can compare that to an ant on the patio in this backyard. The ant doesn't know that there's more than the patio. He just keeps walking. He doesn't know he's just part of lots of worlds. And the human race is sort of like that. After they discovered what's up there, they know they're only a little part of this huge galaxy. I think there probably are many different kinds of cells and organisms. Some may not be visible, some may not have been discovered, and some may be on places we can't go. And they all might have the same perspective as we do on this, that there might be others.
Yeah. Gotta find yourself in this world. Do that, you'll understand yourself better, and you'll understand this world better. Every day is another journey.
Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome to your weekly astrological report for today, Tuesday, May the 29th through June the 4th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me. And we have a very interesting and powerful week of transformation. Of course, kicking off with this full moon in Sagittarius, which I did make a video on that. If you haven't already checked that out, I will probably link that in the description below, where I talk more in depth about the full moon. I'll touch on it a little bit in this video, but really, we are coming to this interesting week of what I like to call a crash course in Alchemy 2.0. Because alchemy is nothing new, and we all have done it, but we are getting a crash course because as we upgrade, so are the lessons. So this week, the overall theme for this week is a crash course in Alchemy 2.0. And if you're really hip about it, you will know who and what I'm referencing on my thumbnail. So I'm going to do this video a little bit different, because a lot of times on the weeklies, I will show you the chart. And I'm not really going to spend too much time on transits. I will talk a little bit about the transits, but I'm going to do more of a channeling for you all. I'm just tap into my intuitive side, because that's really just what I'm being called to. I'm just going to cut the deck. And it's interesting, the top card was the Two of Cups, but I just cut the deck and we literally actually got death. What this is actually the card of transformation, because that's really what death is. It's transformation. Death is just an illusion. So this is really going to be a week where you transform in such a profound way that it really will be damn near impossible for you to act in the old way, for you to try and even manifest in the old way, because you're coming into a greater awareness of your truth and of the infinity of who you are. So I'm going to tell you guys the theme that I have for each day and what it is. I'll talk a little bit about the transits, and then I'm going to read to you also this automatic writing I did, and then talk more in depth about it. So for the theme for today, I'm kind of doing similar to what last week I did, how each day has like a theme. So today is Mighty Morphin time. That's right, I'm talking about the Power Rangers. Today is Mighty Morphin time, because this is a major metamorphosis that we're going through with this full moon in Sagittarius, Swagitarius, where we are developing our swag, or actually rediscovering our swag. That's always been there, but now we're just becoming more aware of it. May 30th, the theme for the day is Mission Uploaded. So we're going to actually receive a mission from the universe, and it's almost kind of like our first mission after going through this metamorphosis and after being awakened to this new level of who we are. May 31st is going to be receiving our first quest, and I put in little stars, choose your starter. If you're looking at my shirt, you can see I have Charmander. That doesn't necessarily mean that I chose Charmander, that's just the energy I was feeling. realistically, when I played the games, I chose Squirtle. And I'll talk more about that theme later when I hit the transits. Okay. June 1st is Divine Visitation. This can be from an angel, a guide. I put in quotes Suicune, which is a particular Pokemon, which I'll show you who Suicune is in a moment. June 2nd is I'll Never Be the Same. So we go through this, we morph, we get our mission uploaded. Now it's like we're going on our first quest. And then we get this divine visitation, and now it's like, I'm never going to be the same. I will never be the same. And you're right, after this week, you will never be the same. June 3rd is Embrace Your Inner Neo. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then June 4th, we have Uranus Shift Part 2, Dawn of a New You. So let's just talk a little bit about the transits, okay? So the 29th, what do we have? Well, of course, we have this full moon in Sagittarius at 8 degrees. And in a nutshell, this is really about the our belief structure really being illuminated and us seeing where we have any self-limiting beliefs that are holding us back, and really establishing this belief in ourselves, this belief in our power, and this belief in the infinity of who we are, and really establishing this trust with the universe that we're being guided in the right direction. I think this is going to be a full moon where you make a very important decision when it comes to our belief in ourselves, and when it comes to whether we believe that we can accomplish anything that we really set our mind and our heart on. And this is going to have a very philosophical and spiritual undertone because this is Sagittarius. So this is really going to be playing off of, like I said, your belief structure. What do you believe about yourself? And where have you been even perhaps deluding yourself? Because we all have delusions, but delusions are actually meant to enlighten us as well. The other thing that is occurring today is that Mercury is going to be shifting into Gemini. So Mercury is going to be coming home. Mercury likes to be here. It's where it can travel around to many different places and gather information and gather knowledge and spread it around. So really today, by the end of the night, we're really going to come into this download mentally and really receive this message about the morphing that we just went through, this mighty morphing time. So, this is definitely a super powerful day, probably one of the most powerful days of the week. Really sets the tone for the week, how we kind of start off with a bang with this full moon. On the 30th, we have the moon, which is going to square Neptune at 16 degrees. Mercury also is going to sextile Chiron at 1 degrees, and the moon will conjunct the galactic center. So what is this talking about? Well, the moon is in Sagittarius, and it squares Neptune. This is really this communication between how we feel emotionally about our beliefs and how we feel emotionally about hope, the idea of hope, the facet of hope and truth. How do we feel about that, and where does it like kind of align with our spirit? Because when Neptune in Pisces, really this is just a dream, and it's like a dream within a dream almost. It's not until like Neptune hits Aries when we really begin to start to integrate a lot of these really hyper mystical concepts. But with the moon squaring Neptune, we're really going to start to see where have we been kind of deluding ourselves with our belief structure as far as with ourselves, with other people, society, and whether or not this is really in line with this higher spiritual nature. Mercury sextiling Chiron is really going to be, our mind and our communication, and we're really starting to have this harmonious connection with our egos. So it's like, this is really even a point of where it's like we kind of go back and look at a way that we have treated ourselves, and we begin to heal that aspect because maybe we had to develop that belief in order to protect ourselves, because maybe we tried to express ourselves in some way that was rejected. So we built up this layer, we built up this defense mechanism. So Mercury sextile Chiron actually is going to be telling this part of you that you have repressed, like, no, it's okay for you to express yourself. No, it's okay for you to express yourself. We are healing this aspect right now. So it's like, this aspect of you is really going to kind of come up and really help you today after the moon squares Neptune, after this full moon. Also, as the moon moves, it's going to conjunct the galactic center point, which is why I called this mission uploaded, because every single time that the moon conjuncts the galactic center point, whenever it hits that spot, emotionally, we are getting another mission from the universe. We get missions every day, but this is like, we get like this really important mission, and it's like uploaded into our being, it's uploaded into our emotions. And the emotional body is one of the bodies that, you know, we play with, of course, all the energies, and we are comprised of all the energies. The 12 signs of the zodiac. The moon, which represents Cancer and represents our feelings. The emotional body is one of the bodies that we use the most, but not necessarily in a particularly aware way, because a lot of times we are disconnected from our emotions, but we use this body of consciousness a lot. So whenever the moon conjuncts the galactic center point, it's like we're emotionally becoming recalibrated back to the overall path that the universe, that the cosmos is heading. So that's why I termed that day as mission uploaded. On May 31st, the moon continues its conjunction with the galactic center point, and then as the moon shifts into Capricorn, the moon will trine Uranus at 0 degrees, it'll square Chiron at 1 degree, it'll quincunx Mercury at 3 degrees, and it will eventually conjunct Saturn retrograde at 7 degrees. This is literally us receiving our first quest, whereas the day before, it's like the mission is literally just uploaded into our being. This is the day where we actually become aware of it. We begin to actually act out on it, because as the moon shifts into Capricorn, we're really going to start to bring into this physical realm this emotional recalibration that we had with the moon conjuncting the galactic center point. And with the moon trining Uranus, this even further brings home this quantum realization that we really can manifest our deeper desires and these deeper dreams and these wild adventures. And with this squaring Chiron, it kind of puts a bit of a strain on what Mercury was communicating to Chiron. So it's great that we have Mercury sextiling Chiron before the moon squares it, because it's like mentally we're prepping ourselves for emotionally feeling why we repress this aspect of ourselves, to why we built up this defense mechanism for ourselves. The moon will begin to understand it more when it quincunxes Mercury. So the moon's going to understand really what Mercury was talking to Chiron about once it comes to this quincunx at 3 degrees, which 3 degrees is actually a step of Sagittarius. It actually rules belief consciousness. So this really does have to do with our belief in ourselves, our belief in where we're heading, our belief that we really can manifest, our belief that we really can move in the direction that we know we can. But do we resist? Do we hold ourselves back based off of what we project that other people are going to think about us? That's the interesting thing. So that's when we're receiving our first quest. On June 1st, we have the moon quincunxing the sun at 10 degrees. Mercury will trine Mars at 5 degrees, and we also are going to experience this heavenly, beautiful grand water trine, which really is a weekly aspect, but it builds up and it kind of climaxes into June 1st and June 2nd. Venus, which is in Cancer, on this day is actually going to come into its exact trine with Jupiter, which is in Scorpio, and it's also trining over to Neptune. This grand water trine is literally a portal that after we receive our first quest, we are literally stepping through this portal and we're like in this new reality. And as we step through this portal, we are going to experience great healing. It's almost like as we step through it, it's like almost like this universal or spiritual car wash, where we literally see, you can literally look down at your body and even feel just anxieties and fears evaporating from you, if you're aware, and almost even see this poison of where you might have stinged yourself before. And I say this as a Scorpio, and everyone has Scorpio energy, but there are times where we have stung ourselves, either with believing what other people said about us or really putting ourselves down. This grand water trine is really going to be activating such a great healing potential, where we establish this emotional intelligence with all aspects of our being, and therefore with other people as well. But it's like as you walk through this grand water trine, imagine yourself almost like stepping through a like a watery like pyramid almost. Like it looks solid, but it's made of water. And as you step through this pyramid, it's almost like say like the pyramid's like a prism, right? And I'm trying to paint this. Say like you know how you see like light going through a pyramid, right? And it refracts out into all the colors. That's almost what's happening here with this grand water trine. Except we're the light walking through this prism, and when we come out the other side, we're going to be refracted into this beautiful, beautiful spectrum of light. And it's like we're going to start to become more aware of all of this giant spectrum of who we are. And each of these facets are going to be healed as we walk through this grand watery trine pyramid thing that I try to paint for you. It's really quite amazing. Really, really quite amazing. Very, very mystical. Absolutely. The moon's also going to conjunct Pluto that day. So that's also literally a day of transformation, and how really, and since it being in Capricorn, really the way, the structure of who we are and the way that we order ourselves and govern ourselves is really going to change forever. Forever. That's why I say this is a divine visitation from Suicune, because Suicune, I'm going to pop up Suicune right here, is a water Pokemon, mystical Pokemon, and in Suicune in the anime, actually in the games, it was the mascot of the Pokemon Crystal version. So literally, this water trine is really going to be like this crystallizing of that metamorphosis you went through at the mighty morph that you went at the beginning of the week. It's almost going to be like this crystalline, like this chrysalis that we kind of walk through. And then as we are healed, because the cool thing about Suicune is that literally it's able to clean water simply by touching on it. Suicune is able to purify water simply by walking on the water, and it just all evaporates. This is why, honestly, we need Suicunes in this world so they can just walk on the water and just like clear out all the oil and the trash, because then it'll just purify the water. That's what we really need. But that's what this is. This is a divine visitation, I say, from Suicune, because it's really like this emotional aspect of ourselves is really being healed in such a deep, profound way that these oil spills that we've had, these oil spills in our consciousness that we have had, they're going to begin to evaporate. They're going to begin to disintegrate, because now we're stepping into a new world, okay? June 2nd, the trine still really continues. We also have Mercury sextiling the North Node at 7 degrees. There's another Yod in here, so the finger of God. And we have Venus trining Neptune exact at 16 degrees. The moon will enter into Aquarius on June 2nd, which means that it's going to square Uranus at 0 degrees, and it's going to sextile Chiron at 1 degrees. So it's interesting how the first time that the moon moved, it trined Uranus, and then it squared Chiron, and now it shifts. So now this time the moon's going to square Uranus. So it's like emotionally we're beginning to process this deeper quantum evolution and this deeper quantum metamorphosis. We're going to start to process a little bit more. And it might be a little uneasy because we're really having to... And since the moon's going to be in Aquarius at this point, it's really going to take on cosmic proportions. It's really going to take on this really great facet. And while Aquarius it's an air sign, but it also brings the waters, and it makes sure that everyone has enough water to drink. So this is going to be this moment where emotionally we might be almost a little... It's like we're gonna almost be diluted. We're gonna be so much water that it almost might kind of dry us out. So we need the moon squaring Uranus to almost sort of like re-quench us, because we just go through this water, and we might even feel pruned after going through this grand water trine. But really, it's just so we can be filled up with this energy of this great transformation, and really so we can push forward. And the moon will sextile Chiron, which is further bringing home how emotionally we're beginning to feel better about the new us, the new behavior, the new ego, the new way of acting. This is why June 2nd is I'll never be the same, because you literally never will be the same. Going through this grand water trine, this grand portal after this full moon, you will never be the same, because you're going to start to think differently. You're going to start to feel differently. You're going to start to really begin to see past the veil of your reality, and you're going to start putting the pieces together, and you're really going to start to understand more on a deeper level who you are and who you are becoming. So you're going to talk different, you're going to walk different, you're going to have more swag, you know. So this is going to be a time really where you really want to enjoy it, but this is going to be a week of great transformation, but also there might be a little bit of strife and struggle. That's why I said it's going to be a lesson in alchemy, because while there are really great things that are happening, there is going to be resistance to this. And just to touch on earlier with June 1st, how I said it was a it was May 31st. I want to go back to that because it's receiving our first quest. I put in little quotations on here, choose your starter. And of course, the next one on June 1st, it was you get a divine visitation from Suicune. So the reason why I said choose your starter there is because when you're receiving your divine quest, it's almost like you're getting a familiar, or you get a partner that comes along with you, and you get to choose your partner. Now, do not limit yourself. That actually, based off of who your partner that you pick, and based off of the Pokemon that you pick, the starter that you choose really determines your level of healing and determines how you're going to be healed when you go through the Grand Water Trine. So I'm just backing up a little bit. And do not limit yourself. You're not restricted to the normal 3. You're not restricted to just, if we go just like from the first generation terms, you're not just restricted to Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. You're not just restricted to Pikachu or Eevee. You can have any Pokemon that you want. You can have a Digimon if you want. You can have just a random animal familiar if you want. Do not limit yourself. And if you want a legendary Pokemon, go ahead. Just be ready to potentially get usurped by a Caterpie. Because someone could potentially pick a Caterpie because they really see the divinity in that Caterpie. And it's like that Caterpie becomes so strong that it's able to take down a Mewtwo. And people might think that's insane. They might try to project their belief on you that Mewtwo, there's no way Mewtwo can lose to Caterpie. But Caterpie is going to walk up and crawl up into this new world like a boss and be like, what's up? I am here. So make sure that you pick your starter wisely. Whatever starter that you pick is really going to be reflective of who you are. I already know that the starter that I'm picking is this guy right here, which is kind of funny because I said this right here, but at the same time, I heard another Pokemon in my head, so it's interesting. I actually associate both of these Pokemon with Scorpio energy. On June 3rd, the Moon will come into its conjunction with Mars in the South Node, and the Moon is also going to trine Mercury. But the other main thing about this day is that Chiron shifts to 2 degrees. And this is really important because anytime an outer planet shifts a degree, it's huge because unlike the Moon, which shifts multiple degrees a day, and Mercury, unlike the Sun, which shifts about 1 degree a day, these outer planets take longer to shift a degree. So anytime you experience that shift, it's a power pivot moment. And it's really this moment of a deeper understanding of the sign. So with Chiron shifting to 2 degrees of Aries, now emotionally, we're going to start feeling more into our persona, our personality, how we're evolving, how we're behaving, the actions that we take, and how if or not align with our higher self and with integrity of who we are. That's why I say that June 3rd is embrace your inner Neo, because you're going to start to come into this realization. Hold on one second. There was an ad on my TV where the music was coming from. So you want to embrace your inner Neo, and it doesn't have to be Neo. You don't have to necessarily restrict yourself to that. You can give yourself any title that you want. Like what I have been embracing lately is I am a divine vessel of the greater dragon. So for me, I'm going to embrace the fact that I am a divine vessel of the greater dragon. So you can be Neo, you can be whatever you want, you can be Superman if you want, but just remember that on June 3rd, you're realizing that you'll never be the same again, and so it's like, okay, well, who am I? And you're going to start to really become more into this, and as the year progresses, especially 6 months from now, you're really going to start to see this manifest. On June 4th, we have the moon squaring Jupiter at 15 degrees, the moon is going to quincunx Venus, and Uranus shifts to 1 degree. And this is huge because Uranus has been at the 0 degree mark since, was it May 15th? So you got to think that's it's been about 20 days. About 20 days since Uranus has shifted into Taurus, and it finally makes it to 1 degree, which officially kicks off the quantum evolution of our value and of our self-worth, and what we really feel we can manifest, and what we can really start to really change this world in a very deep, profound way, and even a very direct and physical way, because Taurus is that fixed earth. So with Uranus finally shifting to the 1 degree, you're going to feel by the end of this week almost like lightning, bam! You're almost kind of wake up into the new reality. It's like, oh, here we are. This is the new world. This is the new me. And really, it's like, are you going to compromise yourself? Are you going to compromise your integrity? That's really why I say that this week is a crash course in alchemy, because it's like we have to learn how to work with our light and our dark. We all have light and dark, and you don't want to embrace one more than the other. You want to actually embrace both, and you want to it's alchemy, you want to take the dark and turn it into the light, and you even want to sometimes take that light and turn it into dark, because sometimes we are presented with false light that's actually masquerading as light, but is actually really dark. So it's like you want to take all of these aspects and just alchemy with it. It's like almost like you're playing with a Rubik's Cube that's constantly moving. It's alchemy, it's alchemy, it's alchemy. It's a crash course in alchemy, because we're learning, we're evolving. So now really the way that we manifest from this space is really upgrading as well. So let me read to you all this automatic writing that I did. It is Mighty Morphin time. That's right. It is time for you to pick your dinosaur and or any prehistoric creature to transmute, update, and bring forth. This week is providing a rare opportunity to really feel into our heart's desires and manifest the dreams of the inner child. How do we do this? By letting go of fear and humiliation. Oftentimes, we hold ourselves back from what we want out of this fear of embarrassment and persecution by others. This is nothing more than a projection of our own limitations, self-limiting beliefs, and assumption that people care that much. Now, that is not to say that others are totally nonchalant to what you say or do. It simply means that people may not care as much as you would like to think. This can either be liberating to you, as you are now free to express your truth in a greater way than ever before, or this can hold you captive as you wish to seek approval from others. You have already been approved by the universe and source perspective, which is why you are even here. Try not to focus so much on impressing others or even yourself. Deep down at your core, you know what you are capable of. This week, you will really begin to experience the magic of your truth. Think of this as a week where a genie grants you 3 wishes. Make them count. Even better yet, make them infinite. That's really what this week is about, especially with that Grand Water Trine. We are being visited by this divine being, a genie or sweet kid, that's really going to give out. I was like, alright, you have 3 wishes. You want to make them count. And as I said, make them infinite, because you are infinite. Don't worry so much about what other people think. And we all worry about what other people think. We all wonder what people think about us. This is a natural human tendency. But you want to make sure that you don't worry so much to where you actually literally hold yourself back, because you're projecting the idea that they're thinking so much about what you're doing, or they really care that much. And now that might sound bad. It's not like, oh, so people don't care about me. No, that's not it at all. But oftentimes, people do not care as much as we like to think. Because they have their own lives that they're worried about. They have their own path that they're living and they're walking on. No one cares as much about it as you do. So that's really what you should focus on. And don't worry about trying to impress other people. Don't worry about trying to impress yourself even. Don't even worry about trying to impress God. Okay? Just focus on being. A child isn't necessarily focused on, sometimes children definitely want to try and impress their parents, but when they're in that real, true, creative mode, they're just expressing, they're just being. They're not worried about trying to impress other people. They're not worried about trying to win the Nobel Prize. They're not worried about trying to impress their boss so they can get a promotion. They're just being. That's all they have to do is just be. And that's really what this week is about. A crash course in alchemy where we experience this great healing and we reestablish this belief in ourselves that anything is truly possible. But where are we holding ourselves back? Deliberately embarrass yourself this week. That will actually make you really super powerful. Like, deliberately embarrass yourself this week. Go out in public and dance like no one is watching. Like, seriously, do it. I've done it, and it's actually one of the most fun things I've ever done. I might do it again this week. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But, like, deliberately embarrass yourself this week. Put yourself into a situation to where you can be ridiculed. And once you actually become more accustomed to that, it's not going to faze you. What people think is not going to faze you. So, that is really this week. Like I said, this is a crash course in Alchemy 2.0. What I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to draw cards for all of the signs and let you guys get on your merry way. But I hope you all have enjoyed the video so far. Hope you all are enjoying the moment. And just remember, of course, that you are able, beautiful, creative, divine, energetic, infinite beings. You know? Beings, by the way, not doings. Beings. Alright. Alright, so for Aries, the card that we have for you is the Hanged Man. So you're definitely this is definitely going to be a week of you having trust in the universe and having trust in yourself. You, especially Aries, will really benefit from embarrassing yourself this week by doing something that you really, really love in public. And if people ridicule you and look at you weird and start taking videos, just know that you're probably going to end up on some, viral YouTube video very, very soon. But you, especially Aries, want to just, embrace trust and embrace your unique self. Chiron is in your sign, so you really are going to be acting out and personifying this healing of our character. So Aries, this is definitely going to be a powerful week of trust for you. And like I said, just go out this week and just do something that will be otherwise embarrassed. But if anyone can do this, Aries, it's you, because honestly, you won't really give a damn what people think anyway. So you really can actually get away with this. Taurus, for you, we have the Four of Pentacles. So this is interesting because you definitely are looking for some type of structure, but with Uranus in your sign, and as it shifts to the 1 degree mark, you really are going to be letting go of something, but also at the same time gaining something else. I think what you're letting go of is this old way that you valued yourself and this old sense of self-confidence. And that helped you for a while, and it allowed you to make it through things to this point, so congratulations. But this is a new world and a new you, so it's time to kind of release your grip, allow the universe to really guide you this week, and you're actually going to come into an incredible token of love from the universe, of which you are going to be deeply appreciative for. Gemini, Gemini, we have the Nine of Cups. This is talking about this emotional satisfaction and you definitely feeling a sense of achievement. The only thing I caution you against, Gemini, is that you don't want to get so wrapped up in this accomplishment that you forget about where you're going. You definitely don't want to stop having goals and dreams. You don't want to stop at this. But definitely this is a week to celebrate because you really are going to be communicating with other people from this space of this emotional fulfillment. And you're going to be healing people simply through your words and your confidence this week, Gemini. Cancer. Cancer, we actually have the Page of Wands, so definitely a fire sign could be really integral in your life this week, either an Aries, a Leo, I'm thinking Leo, or a Sagittarius, who is really going to kind of almost proposition you with a project. That's what I really see. And really, the two of you are going to be working together. Or if that's not it, the Page of Wands is really asking you to really believe that you have this great manifestation power and to really kind of cast your magic this week. Because this is definitely going to be a very transformative time. As you can see, his tunic actually has the lizard on here, which is actually an animal of regeneration. So in many ways, I almost feel like your fire is being regenerated, and now you're going to kind of become a student again, in a sense. But really, you're going to be showing people a level of alchemy that is so magical and mystical that people are going to really kind of flock to you to kind of see really what's going on with you. But like I said, you could be also doing something like a project in cahoots with another fire sign. I'm thinking Leo, if anyone. Leo. Leo, we actually have the King of Cups, so this definitely could be Cancer. Although the King of Cups really, like I said, this could be a Cancer, a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. But like I'm saying, this definitely could be Cancer. So from what it seems like, just based off of this, Leo, you're the Page of Wands, and Cancer, you're the King of Cups. But really, the two of you are going to be working together to bring forth a very transformative healing ritual, and that people can actually follow your example, and by performing this ritual, you will be able to really heal and actually hyper manifest your dreams, almost kind of speed up the process in many ways. So Leo, you're definitely going to be feeling this water trine in a great healing way, and it's not going to douse your fire. Actually, if anything, it's going to make you even more powerful. Virgo, we actually have the Knight of Pentacles. This is you in many ways. I could say this as Taurus, but this is really you. You're going to be kind of embracing this, alright, kind of like you're definitely establishing a goal. You're definitely establishing some vision. The Knight of Pentacles, it's really when you begin to start to master that suit. So now it's like you really are working on your manifestation abilities. You're really working on the physical. So really, this will be a very good week for establishing a good routine, working on your health, exercising, or even just, you might even come into a bit more money this week. There might definitely be some financial gains this week. But this is going to be a powerful week of really, you are starting to master your ability to manifest. Libra, we actually have the Queen of Pentacles. This is interesting. So you definitely might be working with the Virgo, actually. Maybe even teaching the Virgo to a certain degree to remember, to definitely consider and remember the feminine side of things, to where like the Knight might, even though it's an Earth and it's kind of a feminine energy, the Knight might be more or less wanting to act and kind of go forth, where the Queen of Pentacles is like, just allow this abundance to come in. So the Queen of Pentacles, Libra, you're really going to learn how to allow this abundance to come in, to just receive this abundance, to just kind of open up to the abundance, especially when Uranus shifts to the first degree of Taurus, you're really going to feel this. I say this mainly because you are an air sign and Uranus does rule Aquarius, so you're kind of feeling it through that loophole, how to have this deeper appreciation for yourself, and it's really going to allow you to tap into Earth, tap into Gaia. This will be a very good week, Libra, for you to go into nature, go for a walk in the park, go sniff some flowers, and roll around the grass, because you really are coming into a time where you're opening up to the bountiful blessings that are being bestowed upon you. Scorpio, this is beautiful. We actually have the Ace of Cups. This is this could be new love. This could really just be a new love for yourself, newfound appreciation for yourself, but this could be new love, or this just could be this deeper emotional quality that you're going to come into with the water trine, especially, where you really feel like emotionally you can actually begin to take on anything. You're really going to begin to heal these different aspects of yourself, and it's like you're going to actually use your feeling power this week, Scorpio, to really show others what it really means to really be an alchemist, to what it really means. Like, you and Sagittarius kind of get that, because Scorpio, you're more or less the energy that alchemizes a lot of the darker energies, and Sagittarius is ruled by the Temperance card, which is the alchemist. But you are definitely going to come into this week really feeling an emotional renewal, which is long overdue, because you definitely need it, especially considering the full moon that was in your sign. Very powerful. Sagittarius, we actually have the Star card. This is Aquarius' card, interesting enough. So the moon will shift into Aquarius later this week, so you really are going to feel it. But Sagittarius, you really are being calibrated to your destiny. You're being calibrated to, you really are going to start to help other people understand just how powerful they really are. And you're going to do this, of course, through actions, of course, because we have the full moon in your sign, so you're really are going to personify someone who really believes in themselves and someone who doesn't compromise their belief. This is really going to be a great week of imagination for you. It's going to be a great week of just really stepping into your power. The Star card really here is saying that you are being guided by the stars. So tie your handlebars to the stars this week, Sagittarius, because you're being guided towards your destiny, and it's very, very beautiful. Capricorn, we actually have the Ten of Swords. This actually is interesting because this is the first card that's kind of on the harsher end. But I think this is mainly speaking to the fact when Pluto comes into Capricorn, and you're going to kind of be feeling that, alright, we can't stick any more swords in this thing, man. It's dead. We can't revive it. And so there's some facet of your life that you've been trying to poke with swords, to trying to get it to react, and it's just simply not reacting anymore. So it's time to really let that go. It's kind of this harsher ending to what's happening here. And just considering the nature of the card, I'm going to just cut the deck. We have the Queen of Wands, so definitely a Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius is really going to be integral. I'm feeling Leo or Sagittarius more so than anyone else is going to really be integral. But really what's happening is that when you let go of this thing that really is just dead and is not working anymore, you actually are going to hyper manifest a connection with someone, and this person is really going to help you see really just what an incredible legacy you can actually create. This person is going to see it in you. They're going to feel it off of you, and they're going to tell you, it's dude, you're capable of so much. You are capable of so much. But yeah, that's really what you're going to be experiencing this week, Capricorn. Aquarius, we actually have the Death card, so you're definitely going to be experiencing this transformation in a deep and powerful way. And once again, for you, I'm going to kind of cut the deck. And we actually have the Strength card, which is Leo. This is really interesting because, alright, so you're definitely going to be having this sort of connection with Leo this week. This is definitely going to be a week of you need to embrace courage and be who you are. And no longer are going to be the days where you compromise your ingenuity. No longer are the days where you really compromise your genius, because you are a genius, Aquarius, but you've been holding back your genius because these mortals simply don't understand you. It's time to really start to express that, and if these mortals don't get it, then so be it. Continue to express it, because eventually they will calibrate themselves to that information and will be able to understand it. There are people in this world that will be able to understand you. And it's not just other Aquariuses, it's Pisces. But there will be other people in this world that will begin to understand you. So you need to really kill this idea that you have to hold yourself back because you feel like you're out there and people don't get you. You're damn right you're out there and people don't get you. But that's what makes you so amazing and beautiful, Aquarius. That's what makes you so amazing and beautiful. And Pisces. Pisces, we have the Three of Cups. Definitely celebration time. Celebrate good times. Come on. This is going to be a week, Pisces, where you're going to be raising your bottles. You're going to raise your bortles to a new day and a new age. You're really going to be feeling this. You're going to have really prophetic dreams this week, Pisces. Just be careful not to overdo it, and I know you probably are going to overdo it. I have a Pisces moon, so I kind of overdo it. I know you lie, but this is going to be a week where you really begin to see just how powerful your imagination is and how healing it can be, and you're going to celebrate and all of the beautiful blessings that are going to be bestowed upon you. And you're just, at the end of the week, you're going to be just so grateful for the people in your life and like everything, even like the good, the bad, whatever. You're going to be grateful for it all, Pisces. The card I have for everyone at the bottom of the deck is actually the King of Pentacles. So definitely we are learning more how to physically ground this manifestation of the innovation of who we are, our character, and our value. At the end of the week, when Uranus shifts to 1 degree, we're going to feel it like a spark. I almost want you to think of it as Uranus being like this quantum stick of dynamite. And while it's been at the 0 degree mark, literally the fire has just been on the trail of the smoke leading up to the dynamite. And it hasn't even reached the dynamite. But once it hits that 1 degree mark, bam! It's going to explode, and it's going to be like the Big Bang, pretty much, and you're going to really start to manifest your confidence. You're going to really start to manifest your worth and your value. And that is your reading for this week. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, stand. Yahoo! Smile often.